There was a man who was so stressed in life that he went to the thing he enjoyed. He enjoyed running, so he ran that day. He ran a lot. He ran 30 miles without stopping. That was the day he discovered his old passion, the thing he loved to do. And he realized it was the thing he wanted to do. So a couple of days later, he set some goals. Number 1, to run 135 miles in Death Valley, which was about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 2, swim across the San Francisco Bay. Number 3, win the toughest foot race in the world, or otherwise known as the Badwater Ultramarathon. And lastly, number 4, to run a marathon in the South Pole with temperatures of about -40 degrees. And he committed to those goals. Why? Because he knew that to be the best, he needed to set the best goals. Even though the last time he ran was in high school, a couple of decades ago, he committed and told himself that he would accomplish them. We've all had that day where we find something that seems so amazing and knew that we make some goals. We say, by this date, I would have learned this skill, or I would have received this award. How many of us, after the first week, are still committed to that goal? What about after the first month? The first year? Not many. You probably thought that it was too high. So your brain comes up with evidence to validate our beliefs and expectations. We start saying, we didn't have enough time, right? Yes, that must be it. I'm probably not meant to do these sorts of things. I don't think this is for me. I'm not good enough. These excuses, they fill up our heads and they make it seem like the goal is too unrealistic. We have to revise it or just forget we ever said it. But that man I told you about, he trained. From that day on, he trained. He continued to train every single day. And a couple of years later, he can proudly say that he accomplished every single one of them, along with running 50 marathons in every single state in 50 consecutive days. This is the story of Dean Karnazes, and he's told his story in a book called The Success Principles for Teens. But the point of this story is to not brag about someone's accomplishments or make you feel unsuccessful, but rather to remind you that you will never know what you can accomplish until you step out of your comfort zone. Oftentimes, we have these dreams of being the most successful person in the world, and they're truly amazing dreams. But they're in our head. As soon as we grow older, our minds become realistic. Whenever we look at our goals, we modify them to make them more reachable. Or we just completely forget them. The goals that Dean set were not realistic, weren't even close. But he took a step forward, and he accomplished the great. Because that's the human potential. It's bigger than we can think. It's a lot bigger. If we choose to make our goals like what everyone else thinks is realistic, then we'll become like everyone else. If we choose to make our goals from what we believe our potential is, we'll become legends. David Goggins, the celebrated author of Can't Hurt Me, has famously said, when you think you are done, you're only 40% into what your body's capable of doing. That's just the limits we put on ourselves. So set those big goals. Set them. Because the other 60% that you haven't tapped into yet, once you do, you'll be amazed by what you can do. Set them and then work on them. Because you can reach them, and you will. It's hard work to reach them. To achieve big goals, you're going to have to take big steps. It's going to take big steps, but you can achieve them.